Hi viewers, welcome to NCKHUB. If you like our videos, kindly do subscribe and follow us. Thank you.
For if you want to gain more knowledge into Azure, let's try our step-by-step guide. Well, this is Chandrakant. I'm going to be train you today on step-by-step guide how you can be an Azure expert today. So this is an easy approach where you can do easily understand. I have created a GitHub repo as well to follow this one step-by-step guide. Initially, I will walk you through these steps. Might be you can be a professional or you can be a learner or a beginner. If you follow these steps, these will guide you to 100 out of 100, a very good professional into Azure. So first one is the step one, which is going to be understanding the basics of the cloud computing. Next one is the fundamentals you have to know by creating an account. Next one is make yourself proficient in understanding the Azure services. Next one, you have to create Azure lab. So once you create all these four steps, next you have to join certain communities and forums. So let me showcase you the Azure services and lab, how it will be in Azure, and also we will be discussing about communities. So how we can do join and forums. So these are the services which we have discussed in our previous day 2 as part of DevOps Azure Zero to Heroes series. If you are a beginner, it will be very helpful for you. Kindly please check out the below description link of day 2 and I request you to go through that one, which will be helpful for you to understand the Azure services. So we'll come back to the current session. So these are the services which we will talk about: compute services, DevOps services, general services. These are generally talks about Azure resource management, how you can do create a resource group, a server or network management, how you can secure your billing and manage proactively by checking your account resources. Similarly, if you want speaking about the connecting and talking about your data and data services, you can create MongoDB, SQLDB, and many more. Like this, you will be having multiple services. If you want to expertise more into analytics and AI, you can follow these resources. So we will be discussing about all these services in our upcoming sessions. So currently we are concentrating on how we can gain Azure expertise by following a step-by-step guide. So in this, as discussed about after the services, we have to make ourselves comfortable by creating labs. All these we will be creating certain labs by following certain repository management inside a GitHub where we can do create our projects on ourselves and we can do create all these resources. Next, after that, we have to follow certain blogs and contents and with respect to joining Azure Communities. So wait. So what you are thinking about communities or blogs? Where will these will be available? I know that you are thinking about how to join these blogs and communities and webinars. So if you can see, we are getting these communities available from the official website of Microsoft, where you can do follow techcommunity.microsoft.com. So if you can see my screen right away here, you can see this will be a discussions, blogs, ideas, events. If you have new idea, you can do present and share it. If you want to follow blogs, you can do follow the blogs. Suppose if you want to follow a blog of virtual networking, so you can come to Azure Virtual Networking block. You can improve your knowledge and you can do join. So like this, you can do improve your knowledge and also you can present your known things and you can share your knowledge as well. Where you can do create certain application, present it and make itself helpful to others as well. Similarly, if you want to follow other blogs, you can do follow the latest articles which will be presented in the Microsoft. You will be having featured blogs also available. Suppose if you want to present a blog on AI or analytics or any database or else machine learning, you can do present everything. Suppose if you want to explore more about Azure Data Explorer, blog which has been created with web UI updates, and also I have clicked on data. More visually, if I want to get into visualizing data blog. So if you can see, this is the blog which is presented with Fabric and KQL. This is a service which is there with respect to query language. So this is there with the Azure Data Explorer, From the data explorer, you can have a look at this blog as well. Like this, if you can do join to a Microsoft community. From there, you can do visualize all the blogs and services. So similarly, if you want to have a skills into completely with respect to Azure learning, you can do follow this website as well. So let's back again to our step-by-step guide. If you have joined communities and forums, I request you to follow and learn about security and governance. This is the service which we have seen previously. Like all services in Azure will be there. Under that security, like Microsoft Authenticator and Windows and application security, web security and services, and Active Directory and Entra ID. Like those multiple security of the applications will be there. Those you have to know and you have to get well familiarized. And there will be certain specialized services. Those specialized services you have to get well known about. Example, containers. These are certain specialized services like AI services, container services. If you want to create a serverless deployments, you can do this container instances, containers hosting by creating a Docker image, deploying the Docker image, and orchestrating with a Kubernetes. You can do create Kubernetes services, and you can configure your applications with web or application deployment with respect to serverless. Then you can do your application configuration also inside its configured application. I hope this finds a very pretty good understanding to you where you can do orchestrate all your applications, deployments, CI/CD pipelines, everything in all in one together in all services of Microsoft Azure. This is one thing of step 8. You can do call it as probably. Now, if we can move into next step, we have to get more practice in terms of building a profile where you have to create a project yourself and you have to maintain by creating certain repositories. Example, you can create a project. Suppose you in your office premises, if you are a professional or else you are a learner, you have to create a project. For example, create a CI/CD pipeline and deploy that pipeline with an application to make transactions recurring. So then in that point of time, you have to create one project server and deploy that application into a Apache server. Next, after that one, create an application and add certain repositories, commit your code to GitHub. Next, after this, build your application in terms of profile with certain artifacts. Next, create a pull request and submit that pull request. Finally, deploy that application with by properly monitoring. For that, you need Azure Insights, all this. All this you have to do is create a project. So this you have to create your own project or build your profile. Next, deploy that file by creating and deployment. Next, final step is stay up to date. So before doing certifications and everything you have to do is to the market, you have to be update. Kindly please make sure that every new update or patching like any servers or new trend that is going to happen, you have to be very close to the market. So these are certain step-by-step guide where I have created a GitHub repo as well. So this is the repo where I have created public repo Azure series NCKHUB. Under this GitHub repo, I have created step-by-step guide as well. Step 1 states acquire a comprehensive learning of cloud computing. First, you have to get good knowledge understanding about cloud computing and its basics. Next, after this one, you have to create an account and you have to start understanding your fundamental course. So which will contain about Azure portal, Azure services, pricing, and fundamentally concepts you have to know, like networking, subnets, and yourself understanding domains, routing, what is deployment, what is Dockerization, all these things you have to know. You have to get very familiarized with all the services. Next, you have to, as step 3, you have to attain proficiency in understanding the core services of Azure. Those services you have to know about like virtual machines, storage, databases, networking, application services, Dockerization, and etc. Next, you have to create an application and you have to make yourself hands dirty so that you can familiarize more work and you will get easily understanding of all the aspects. Next, after that one, step 5. So be part of Azure Communities, which I have shown you in our logging into the Microsoft domains. From there, you can do check out blogs, forums, communities. So here you can do improve more yourself by attending workshops, LinkedIn, or else webinars, or else looking into the YouTube live sessions or joining webinars. Example, our YouTube videos, you can go through them, which will be helpful for you to improve more about Azure and other services like this, where you can do keep up to date with your track. Next up, step 6, security and governance. Step 7, more familiarized with specialized services like containers, AI insights, etc. Build your profile and create a project and make yourself deploy your project into GitHub by pushing with right services of right commands. Next, you have to be stay up to date with your continuous developments which are going. Finally, you have to obtain a certification. All these what you have learned is for definitely you have to write a certification. You have to undergo a certification. Example, Microsoft provides a wide variety of certification in terms of fundamentals, administrator, developer, associates, security. Like this, multiple certificates will be there. Let me showcase you those certificates as well. So these are certain certifications which are being provided by the Microsoft. So these Microsoft AI certificate, fundamentals AI certificate, administrator certificate. If you are planning to do administrator associate certificate, then you can prefer this one and you can opt it. If you are planning to do after the fundamental associate, you can go ahead, and database like this, you can go ahead, database associate. Like these are desktop security and workloads. I guess multiple Azure solution certificate, different n number of certificates are there, like AZ 100, 700, 900. So these are the step-by-step guide which I have created, as I said, in the GitHub repository of NCKHUB, which will be available to you, and we will be adding in the Azure description of this YouTube video as well. You can go through this one and you can have a complete guide of step by step how to become an Azure expert, from step 1 to step 10, from understanding to completing the certificate. Day 3 Azure series. So signing off here for today's session. So we will be keep continuing our loading our new sessions. Kindly please subscribe and follow us. If you like more and if you want more, kindly please give a thumbs up to us. Thank you and bye.